So if there's a guy I follow on Twitter. He tends to post some interesting QAnon stuff, and his name is at at symbol storm is upon us. And Joe M, I guess is what he calls himself. He posted a link to a Zero Hedge article titled "Major Solar Storm to Strike Earth This Week as Black Supermoon Looms." I'm going to read you his comment first. "Oh no, a solar storm that has the potential to wipe out communications during the week of the first D-class drops? Either the sun doesn't want us to learn the truth, or it's just an excuse for when they shut down the internet. Which do you think?" Now, a couple of things. Blackouts necessary according to Q. We've already seen several. Don't know about this. And then we have Penny Kelly, who told us in the interview, when I first interviewed her, the little men in robes that visited her in the 1980s, she wrote a book on it, that Penny Kelly. And they talked to her about the network. Don't ever let the network go down and stay down. And I don't know if they told her or she got somehow 3 times this network would be brought down and we must make sure it comes back up. Back then she didn't know what the hell what network. Oh, later on, decade and a half later or so, oh, the internet. Oh, the network. Oh, got it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And here this guy is saying this, storm is upon us. That's interesting. The article is from Zero Hedge, but it's initially posted by Michael Snyder's blog. A large solar storm will hit Earth on July 31st or August 1st at the same time that the black supermoon happens. An absolutely massive hole has formed in the upper atmosphere of the sun, and our planet will align with that hole later this week. You know what comes to mind, honestly? Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? What a black hole sun. Who was that? Who did sing that song? Soundgarden. Soundgarden did that? Soundgarden. For a minute I thought it was the same group that did all I can say is that my life is pretty lame. Pretty. How about Pretty Lame? Who sings that song? All I can say is that my life is pretty plain. Blind Melon. For some reason, now that I look at that, that doesn't sound like it to me either. But that's who I was thinking did that song anyways. So it says nobody knows quite sure yet how bad it will be. If the storm is relatively minor, we could just experience a few disruptions to satellite communications and some pretty lights in the sky. But if the storm is really severe, our electrical grid could be fried and we could experience widespread power outages. According to The Express, the solar storm will hit Earth on July 31st or August 1st. So I'm doing this video July 31st, Eastern Time, 10:30. So in another hour and a half, it'll be August 1st. Of course, it always depends on where in the world, when UTC time, what are we talking, don't really have that information. Earth's orbit around the sun will soon align with the coronal hole. Again, I felt like Austin Powers. Yes, it does feel good on the whole. I shall call it Preparation H. Why don't you just call it Operation Ice Cream? What's that? You want some chocolate ice cream? Ice cream? Yes, I'd love some chocolate ice cream. It's a good thing I can joke around right now. This could be serious, but for some reason I don't know, I just don't feel too concerned about it unless, storm is upon us, it's hinting, wink, wink, deep state, trying something on us. Again, D-class is coming, supposed to be Wednesday today. Maybe not, maybe it'll be tomorrow, maybe the next day. No one ever really seems to know. And if you're them, the good guys, you don't exactly want to broadcast specifically when something like that's going to happen to, let the bad guys know, oh, do a false flag now, or do this. Anyways, of course, North America is in the northern hemisphere, and so we could be in for a direct hit. Since our satellites are outside our atmosphere, they are the most vulnerable during a solar storm. If some of our satellites get fried, that could affect GPS navigation, cell phone communication, and satellite television services. Anything with television services, if it went down, probably wouldn't be a bad thing for humanity. Turn the effing TV off. Even my gold shows. Love my gold shows. Ain't none of them playing right now. I am watching one called Alone. They drop these people off on like an island in Canada or somewhere, and usually it's in Canada. They're all within like 5 miles of each other, but they're all supposed to live separately and survive immediately off the land. They're allowed to bring themselves 10 items, and that's it. They've got to build a shelter because it's going to be getting cold soon. Whoever lasts the longest wins like $500,000. And the other side of the story, which I don't know, this is probably the more important side. I watched that show too. It comes on Thursday night, by the way. That's like the only thing I'm watching right now. I like that kind of stuff. But in the show, whoever lasts the longest gets $500,000. But it shows you, because you'll hear the people talk, because they're by themselves with cameras, and they are all kind of saying the same thing. I really need this money. It can change my life. I can get out of debt, or I could buy a little piece of land in my house and get it paid off. And it's just simply put, more proof that we're all debt slaves and that no one ever has enough money, no normal people. We try all of our lives to better ourselves, and typically maybe we do a little bit, it's hard to say. But for the most part, we don't. And these people are willing to do that and go out there and struggle for 2 to 3 months, because usually it's around 2 to 3 months time frame that they'll last, closer to 2 months. Because it gets so cold and snowy, like it just gets brutal. But they're willing to do that to get out of the slave system, right? It's like, yeah, you're in jail, we're all locked in here, and we're going to take 10 contestants, and we're going to put you through some grueling stuff, and if any of you pass it, you guys are free, you can get out of the jail. Oh, sign me up, right? It's kind of amazing. But anyways, back to life, back to reality. For the most part, the Earth's magnetic field protects humans from the barrage of radiation, but the solar storms can affect satellite-based technology. Solar winds can heat the Earth's outer atmosphere, causing it to expand. This can affect satellites in orbit, potentially leading to a lack of GPS navigation, mobile phone signal, and satellite TV, such as Sky. But if the storm is powerful enough, electronic devices all over the country could be damaged, and our power grid could potentially be disabled, according to astrophysicist Scott McIntosh. How about that? A really bad solar storm could potentially even cause some of our major cities to be without power for months. McIntosh winces at the thought of what a massive storm might do. Quote, could you imagine DC or New York City being without power for 6 months or 8 months, a year, because of a solar event that they didn't forecast well? Yeah. Well, I've been a prepper to some extent all these years. But my prepping, as I've said, is like I'm a city boy prepper, not living out in the country prepper, because I wasn't out in the country. So I said to myself, prepare so that if shit went down, you're staying right where you're at. Well, there's a lake not too far. I could fish there. Worst case scenario, I've got my food storage, of course. Water, I'm on a well pump. I do have solar panels. I could produce power to some extent if I needed it. I'm not sure how the Tesla fits in here. They don't have anything that you could backfeed from a Tesla vehicle yet, not that I'm aware of, to like power your house. Although it may be I know they have the solar thing with Tesla, and I'm not sure if your car could actually tap into that and backfeed it temporarily. I'm not really not sure. I don't think you could do anything like that. But I mean, I'll be honest, I'm just not feeling this. I'm a doomer. You know, I'm a member of the doomer union, for sure. I've paid my dues every year. But I'm not feeling this. Now, yeah, could we see some kind of event? Oh, the power's out again. Would it be Trump and the good guys actually doing it to go after the bad guys? And blaming it, oh, we had a major solar event today that, at the same time, if it's used for that excuse, now people are going to panic. Oh my God, if that just happened, we have never had this happen since modern technology. People are going to start panicking. Well, how do we do? What do I do? How do I fix that? How do we stop? So good guys using that as an excuse, they don't need to. They didn't do it in the 2 blackouts we had in New York, or the 2 in DC, or the huge one in Southern California the other day. And I do think it was them, honestly, between you and me. The good guys doing what they said, blackouts necessary. Um, they don't need to wait on there's a coronal hole in the sun and the planet's going to align with they do it when they need to do it. Now, the bad guys, on the other hand, if they're trying to take the grid down so that this expose of their criminality, declassified documents, gets put on the news, can't get put on the news anymore, well, because the satellite systems aren't working and the electricity's down and. But again, how long are they going to keep it down? As soon as it comes back up, all right, run the story. Or like Penny Kelly said, they're going to want to keep it down, and we must not allow them to keep the network down. We must make sure every time they try this that it goes back up. We must. It was critical. So, anywho, that's it for now. Take care. Okay, let's try that again.